Good evening. I would like to call to order the regular meeting of the Monee Village Board of Trustees, September 14th, 2022, 6:41. If I could please ask Phil Epperson from Second Place Church to come up for the invocation.
Just before I pray, let me say thank you for keeping prayer before the people of Monee. Heavenly Father, we come to this meeting tonight to pray in the wonderful name of Jesus, the one who gave his life for all who would accept him and make him Lord of their lives. Tonight, though, we ask for your wisdom to be present in this meeting. You said in your word in James chapter 1, verse 5, if you want to know what God wants you to do, ask him, and he will gladly tell you, for he is all ready to give you a bountiful supply of wisdom to all who ask him. He will not resent it. Give them wisdom tonight, Lord, as they meet and share, and their thoughts convey the needs of Monee Village and their own concerns concerning everything that is brought before them. So tonight, as information is given and debated, may they all who are in authority respond with the wisdom and knowledge that you, God alone, can give them. May there be a robust but pleasant debate concerning the business at hand. With this meeting is adjourned, may each go their separate homes and saying, it was good to be together in the spirit of unity in behalf of the people of Monee. Most of all, may these decisions please you. In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen. So let it be.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Present.
Trustee Horn.
Here.
Trustee Henson.
Present.
Trustee Rakes.
Present.
Trustee Wilson.
Present.
Trustee Udris.
Present.
Open to the public and agenda items only, please. Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda. May I please have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion. Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn.
Yes.
Trustee Henson.
Yes.
Trustee Rakes. Yes. Trustee Wilson.
Yes.
Trustee Udris.
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Yes.
Clerk's report, Donisha.
Thank you, Mayor Bogues. Just a couple of things for tonight. One, of course, we did just have our Fall Fest. I want to thank everyone that came out. It was really great. I do want to thank Diana and DPW for their help setting up the hand sanitizer station. Appreciate you for that. And we started off with 2 pallets, which was 2,800 bottles, and ended up with half a pallet left. Did give some to a few of the few teachers. Some cases, as well as some of the principals. There are still some district schools that would like to have some of that we have left. And I was contacted by one of the vendors who was there, as Bosco's All Natural. They have a truck that's going down to Kentucky to help the victims that were affected by the flood. So we have cases going down there for them as well, which is really great. Second, with the consolidated election that we have coming up for next year, the 3 seats for a 4-year term for trustee, as well as 2 2-year term seats as well. The packets, you'll be able to pick those up next week. We will add the information online so that you'll be able to have the link for the candidates guide. The handbook is not available right now, and the State Board of Elections is seriously behind because of having the election pushed back until June. So they won't have any information for that until, they said, the end of September or the beginning of October. So I did check to see which forms have changed, and then we've updated our packet that we give out to try and help everyone. So that information will be there. And like I said, that will be as of next week. Circulation can start on September 20th. Last but not least, we have the Knights of Columbus. They reached out for their annual drive for them to be in the village, and that will be from Friday, September 17th through Sunday, September 19th, and they also sent over their certificate of liability insurance. So that was just information for the board. End of report.
Thank you very much. Okay, for my report, first of all, Fall Fest was a huge success this year. I want to thank all the participants, the sponsors, the volunteers, the vendors, and also our incredible staff. It was a lot of fun. The weather was great for a majority of the time, but even on the bad day, it wasn't that bad. So thank you for everybody that made it a great success. Next up, Farnsworth Group has a presentation regarding the Osland Grant. So we've got Amy Wilson and Ken Chastain. So feel free to come on up and show us what you got.
Okay. Did you all get a handout? Were they passed around? Yep. Okay. All right. If anybody out in the audience would like a handout of what is on the screen, you're welcome up. Thank you. I'm Amy Wilson and Ken Chastain here with Farnsworth Group. We've been before you several times, and I'm very excited tonight to come before you because the time has come and the OSLAD application, grant application is open and due at the end of this month. So this is our opportunity to submit seeking funding. This year, for the first time, they've increased it and they're allowing us to seek up to $600,000 towards a project. So I have worked with Diana and Ruben and with our staff. We currently have a project ongoing, an infrastructure project to lay the groundwork for development and continued success of Fireman's Park development. And so for the OSLAD application, we identified phase 1 construction. These improvements will be listed in the application, and we will also provide a budget that we are working to refine currently for just those spaces. We will be seeking $600,000, and tonight there's a resolution that'll come before you for you to verify that you are putting forth this project in the application, that these are the components, that we're seeking $600,000, and that you have matching contributions in order to complete the project within a 24-month time frame once award of the contract is given, which typically that's been done at the beginning of the year, so in the January to February months. Once that happens, you're also saying tonight in the resolution that you are willing to abide by all of the project requirements of DNR and the OSLAD application. So if you can see, and I apologize, this is what DNR requests of us, is an 8.5 by 11 exhibit, so that's what we've prepared for them. Unfortunately, you can't zoom in like you can on a computer screen. Everything is electronic this year, so DNR has the ability, we don't have to do the old like paper copies and binders to Springfield. So it's a new process. We're learning, and I would like to thank Daryl and Diana at this time, because we have been working together through this new process to get access through the grantee portal and everything, and we are moving forward now. Phase 1 encompasses the following components. They are the current existing football field. It would be a renovation of that. We would be shifting the field slightly and being able to expand it to offer not only football and soccer and being able to do special events and things like that, but also have a size ability to do lacrosse if that's desired and have that space. Then adjacent to that, on the north end, we would be putting in new sand volleyball courts, and we would be putting in a maintenance storage facility for Parks and Recreation. That maintenance and storage facility would be replacing the current existing shed. It's referred to as the bingo shed that's out towards Court Street, so that would be coming down. Just to the west of that, we would be reorienting the baseball field and modifying that. It would be a 250-foot baseball, softball field combination that'll be put in there with batting cages, dugouts, and then also bullpens on both sides. Number 19 in the center of that is part of this phase 1, and that is a concessions and restroom building. Public restrooms and concessions would be located there, central to all of those amenities that I've already mentioned. And then moving down to the west of the recreation building and the pavilion area, you'll see we're proposing an extension of the parking lot as well as a new playground area that would go just to the west side of that. So those are all of the components that are part of Phase 1. And then we would be hopeful then that once that's completed, we'd have the opportunity to submit for a future OSLAD grant for another $600,000 towards construction of Phase 2 in the future. And you can see then Phase 2 is highlighted in green and shaded, and the components of that are listed in the key to the right side. So at this time, I would ask if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer those, either regarding the grant or the project itself.
Yes, Amy.
Yes.
Over here.
I was like, where are you? Hi, Trustee Wilson.
Hi. With us making the current renovations, the pavilion, and also with the stepping up some other things that we can, housekeeping that we can take care of outside of the OSLA, how does that impact us and our opportunity to receive the OSLA grant?
So that actually is a beneficial impact to you. There will be a visit by a grant administrator once the application is submitted, and they come out and they'll be asking questions and looking at the space that you're looking to improve. And what they want to know is that the dollars you already have existing, that you're utilizing those in ways that are benefiting your residents and the community. And you're showing already that you've made a commitment to not only plan this, and it's well thought out, but you're already making arrangements to improve it without additional funding available currently. So,
Thank you.
yep.
Then going along, kind of piggybacking on what Michael said, the OSLAD grant and what is proposed for the Phase 1 would, it seems to me that, that 600,000 will make a dent, but it certainly wouldn't cover our Phase 1.
That is correct. So it will not cover a majority of it, but it is going to cover a significant portion of that. Once the estimate is finalized, it will come back to you guys to see the estimate and what is going to be asked for as the matching. But the contributions that have already been earmarked for Parks and Recreation, that will cover that portion of that. You would not be asking for additional funding towards that. You can. You can apply every year, but there is a limit as far as what you can receive per space. So that's one of the questions that they'll ask in the application is they want to know, have you sought funding before? Have you received, funding, and for what projects and for what? Because there is a follow-up and like an audit and a review that happens for OSLAD funded spaces once that's complete. And so they want to make sure that the space is continually being used for public recreational uses. So, but the limit, I believe on that, and I will have to look it up and confirm with you, I believe is 2 maximum grants per recreational space within a certain amount of time.
2 grant awards?
Grant awards per space.
Okay, so we're gonna get 600 this year and maybe again 600.
The following, yep, yeah. So I have not had, in my personal experience, have not had a client go back to back, but I have had one go skip a year in between, and they were successful in doing so. So we had a phased project actually down in Southern Illinois. We went in for Phase 1, they received it, they started construction, they're wrapping up this year, but last year they went ahead and submitted for their Phase 2, and they received, just the beginning of this year, they received their award for that, and so they just are continuing progress on that project, so.
So you said we had a 24-month time limit to get that project complete.
Yes.
Would that be anything to where the time constraint on applying for another grant, or could you actually do it the very next
No, you
year?
could absolutely do it the next year.
Okay.
You would just need to be very organized
Understood.
in your paperwork. Yeah,
Thank you.
yep, absolutely.
And to piggyback Trustee Gonzalez, the Phase 2, I understand you said every other year we'll probably get you have a better chance at getting the funding, but for that 600,000 for Phase 2, would we be matching that as well?
Yes, you would also have to provide a match. It is a matching grant, so you would have to have those funds outside of the 600,000 match or the match that you have for the first grant. You're welcome.
On any project that we do, it will match up to a possible 600.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. So we will be seeking the maximum 600,000 for the grant. DNR does have the capability of reviewing the grant and reviewing our budget that we will be submitting. So you do submit a detailed budget showing each of your recreational components. And this recreational component is X amount of dollars, and the second recreational component is X amount of dollars. If they review the project as a whole and they feel that it would be a stronger project without a certain component, and they don't, or they feel that something we've given to them doesn't qualify for that 600,000 of state funding, they would let us know that, and they do have the ability to award less than the 600,000. In my experience, I've not heard of someone submitting a budget and asking for their ask and being given less. And typically that's because they do request on the front end of the grant application, you contact your grant administrator, you review your project with them, you talk about the success of that project, what could make it a stronger application, what would not, and that is something that Diana and I did. We did that 2 years ago before when we started the process, and we didn't feel we were where we needed to be, and we did it again recently, and they thought it was a fantastic project, and they're really excited to see it come across their desk, so.
Any other questions for Amy? Thank you, Amy, very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so that brings me to my next item. The village has established an overall park master plan for Fireman's Park, as noted by Farnsworth Group during their presentation just now. The village will be actively seeking funding in the amount of $600,000 through the Open Space Lands Acquisition and Development OSLAD grant for Phase 1 of this master plan, and certify that there are sufficient matching funds available to complete the grant application project scope. In order for the village to secure funding through this grant administered by the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, the Village of Monee is required to acknowledge that the village has sufficient funds for the local match and shall complete the pending project within the specified time frame and meet all other project terms and conditions as required under the OSLAD policy. The village must also certify that they acknowledge that the knowledge they provide in the grant application is true and correct. So right now, I'm asking for a motion to pass the resolution of authorization acknowledging the village's intent to allocate matching funds in the specified time frame.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
2022-9.
Thank you. Okay, that's it for mine. Moving on to the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. First item under my report is the 2022 roadway maintenance project pay request number 2. The village has recently received partial payout request number 2 from Iroquois Paving Corporation, completed on the reference project. Robinson Engineering and village staff have reviewed this invoice and determined that it is in substantial compliance with the plan and specifications. Therefore, we recommend that Iroquois Paving Corporation is entitled to payment of $143,627.57 as summarized below. Total earned to date is $1,243,242.48, less the 10% retention, $124,324.25, for a subtotal of $1,118,918.23, less a previous payment of $975,290.66. The amount due this pay request number 2 is $143,627.57. The board action request is a motion to approve payout request number 2 to Iroquois Paving Corporation in the amount of $143,627.57.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udress?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. The next item under my report is for discussion only. It's the Media Link Billboard Company. A few years ago, the village purchased property on South Governors Highway at Watson's Cutoff, which is approximately 7.65 acres. This parcel is east and west of Governors Highway. There are 2 billboards on the west side of the property and are owned and maintained by Link Media. The rental agreement with the previous owner was $400 annually per sign. Since the land was purchased, the village has not received any rental payments. The amount currently owed is $1,760 to date. So for discussion, I'm going to ask Attorney Gutreski if he can just share with the board about this, the rental portion.
Thank you, Ruben. Under Illinois law, when a village buys property or a township buys property, it's for governmental purposes, and you are not supposed to derive revenue from that. When we buy these properties in Eagle Fair, or even like tomorrow's closing, we fill out application immediately, so we get tax exempt status. If we file an annual affidavit saying we are not deriving revenue, if you do derive revenue, you could lose your tax exempt status. And it's very important that you've seen issues where villages forget to file the tax exempt application, then it goes for a tax sale. So we're on it, but we are not supposed to derive any revenue from village-owned property.
Thank you. So with that, there's been some internal discussion, what do we do with this rent money? And this has kind of been ongoing for several months. So one of the thoughts was being able to take this rental and make it a donation, where we give the amount entirely away to a 501c3 organization locally here in the village. So the questions I have for the board for discussion tonight is, one, do we want to make this donation? And the second one is, if the answer is yes, who would we like to make the donation to? Would it be a one lump sum or a share to a few organizations?
We can't keep it, so we have to give it and put it somewhere of use, correct? We can't keep it, because then we would be like a landlord, which we cannot do.
Correct.
We have several 501c3s here in the village. Since the money has to go out somewhere, I would suggest, do our due diligence, look into the different 501c3s, and maybe separate it up and give each of them a portion of it.
Do we know how many of these 501c3s we have in town?
Including if we include the churches in that, we probably have about 10. 11.
My thoughts are, there's probably 501c3s. If we do an all-call thing, you're probably going to get a lot of 501c3s that you didn't know about. However, because, it takes a little work, but, you can start one for anything, really. I think our parameters should be those 501c3s that are active in the village. So that would be, off the top of my head, the Historical Society, the MAC, or the Provision Lab, however you want to, because if you gave it to MAC to use, let's say, that involves all the churches, rather than giving some money to every single church. Just give it to MAC or Provision Labs, because most of the MAC churches work with them, and the Boy Scouts or the American Legion, Auxiliary. Are they two separate?
Yes.
They are, okay.
Yes.
Good to know. So those are the ones that come from the top of my head. But those, I think the bottom line should be that are active in village activities.
That is also what I meant when I had said that.
I would just add, like, school district somehow, some way, whether it's Crete Monee Band or the school. We have Monee Elementary in town, so.
Well, did the band play in the parade?
You didn't ask them? No.
No. They did? Okay.
No, they did.
I wasn't there, so.
No, they did. No, they played.
Okay, well, then, I think that's a,
They fit the rubric.
I think they do.
I mean, is it something that we can come up with the parameters and say any group that fits these, apply to the, you can apply to be part of this, and then that way, we can kind of get from them some semblance of what, if you were to be part of this and get the money, what would you do towards the community with these funds? Try to inspire to reinvest it back into the community.
I think what Doug was on was good, because they're already participating in the community, so then they're already vested or embedded, so then it's part of the give back, I guess. They qualify because they've been doing the work, so to speak. Be comfortable with those organizations who have already been participating in municipal activities to be privy to some of those
Right,
funds.
but I think if we do some sort of application, we kind of put an end to, a timeline to get the groups together by a certain time, so we're not constantly having another group saying, hey, now I'd like some too. It could be an ongoing process that we just, continue, I think, a timeline to get this figured out.
I don't know if we want to open it up, or if we could just make a selection out of those, because we're not talking about much money, are we? The funds are less than a few.
Yeah,
Less than $2,000. So I mean, we start including, being all inclusive, and I get it. It'd be awesome, but I think this would be probably a selection or select few that the board would decide who would get those funds. I think that'd be a better route to go, easier.
And the other thing is, if we miss one, which we probably will, but we can always include them next year.
Sure.
Or they're included in the next year's giveaway.
Yep.
Correct, there's 2 signs.
So really, we're talking 2 signs, $400 a year, so it's $800 a year. It's just that they do owe us the $1,760.
Okay, well, I guess this will be an ongoing discussion. Got a lot of thoughts here, and maybe either next meeting or the meeting afterwards, I got a feeling there'll be some more ideas brought to the table, but it'll be an ongoing conversation. I'm open to whatever else ideas you all have. All right, thank you, and in my report.
Okay, awesome. Moving on to the officials' reports. Public Works, Trustee Horn.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I just want to give my congratulations to the Department of Public Works and Ed and his team. The Fall Fair, of course, was an all-hands-on-deck event, and many of that team were out there for many hours over the course of the 3 days. So we thank you. Thanks to Ed and his team for the work they did. Very much appreciated. On another note, we have branch pickup, which is scheduled for, I guess, September 21st and 22nd. That's Wednesday and Thursday. I believe is that next week already? So, Margaret, write that down. Because she always asks me, and I'm like, I don't know. So, that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation, Trustee Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'll try to be brief, but it'll never happen. And again, I will have to say, first, I want to say congratulations to Diana. She says it's only her job, and she's just doing her job. But what a fantastic job you did. Thank you. And that being said, we'd like to congratulate and thank our sponsors for help us sponsoring the event as well. An amazing one. Amazon, Iroquois Paving, Teresa Bogues DDS, Robinson Engineering, Vortman USA LLC, Gina's Motorsports and South Suburban Mitsubishi, M&J Underground, Farnsworth, We Care Christian Learning Center, Animal Wellness Center of Monee, Rainbow Farms, Monee Liquor Depot, Monee Dental Associates, Leveled Inc., New Life Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, Basic Fire Protection, Amex Neuter LLC, Better Built Lumber, 7-Eleven, Aqua, Illinois, Terrell's Eat the Bone, Straight Home Bar and Grill, RWK IT Services, Senator Patrick Joyce, Massage Works, South Holland Metal Finishing, Gorman Farm Fresh Produce, and Midwest Custom Case, Inc. And I would dare say this is probably the largest list we've had in several years. So again, thank you to all our sponsors. And also, we'd like to thank Amazon for sending their employees who volunteered, the Crete-Monee School District for sending out to be in the parade, the marching band, the ROTC program, Monee Elementary, as well as district staff and all of their high school students who volunteered, scores and scores of them. We had volunteers from all over come out to help for part of the weekend, and some helped the entire weekend, selling beer tickets, checking IDs, helping in the kitchen, picking up trash, setting up the parade, organizing the bands, manning and volunteering the building, and even more. We could not do this without the volunteers. Thank you. Thank you to Public Works, Monee Police, Monee EMA, Monee Fire District, our Finance Department, and the Parks and Recreation staff who worked on Fall Fest months before, during, and well after the event to ensure it was clean, safe, and fun for all who attended. And they're already starting for next year. Mark your calendars. September 8th, 9th, and 10th, 2023. Next on the agenda, of course, no rest for the wicked, right? Halloween happenings and our trunk or treat, which would be Friday, October 28th. And then to remind everyone of the Monee Chamber at Deer Creek Country Club tomorrow. It looks like to be a great day for golf, as a matter of fact, at Deer Creek Golf Club. And
It's not tomorrow.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, next week, I'm sorry. And Doug has the flyer if you need some, there's also some more in the lobby as well. End of report.
Thank you very much. Finance, Trustee Rakis.
Just a little on the tax relief information. A reminder, all applications for property tax relief will be due September 30th at 12 p.m. Distribution of relief funds will begin on Monday, October 3rd, 2022, and end on October 31st, 2022. The village will allow for check pickup during the following hours during October, which will be Monday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Tuesday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And any questions, you can email taxrelief@villageofmonee.org. That's it.
Thank you. Economic Development, Trustee Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to resound that Monee, the Fall Fest was a success. Thank you, a special thank you to our sponsors and volunteers this year. A lot of new faces and a lot of new businesses, which is exciting to see. It's all coming together and everybody participating and helping out. And in the past, Scott and I are on the sheet looking what slots can we take for volunteering, ticket booth or whatever. They were all filled. That was awesome. So we got to actually enjoy it and move around, talk to people, and to watch the families and interact. It was awesome. So kudos, Diana. I know she doesn't like to take praise, but it's just your job. But you did a darn good job. So keep up the good work. And if those don't know that she's always working for the village, she's always advocating for the village. She is our #1 cheerleader. So thank you, Diana. First, one new business license has been issued, the CNS Harvest LLC, which they gave their presentation last week at the board meeting. Under Project Unite Monee, talks continue with Vortman Machinery and reference redevelopment agreement. They are looking to expand their international business here in Monee. Director Bill Barnes is still following up with a viable option for a grocery store. Under Magnify Monee, village monumental signs and gateway signs are going to be under construction starting probably within the next week to 2 weeks. project should be completed, or the signs should be up within 1 month, depending on ComEd and how fast they mark those electrical lines, and we can get power to those signs. So that should be happening within a month. The village website and social media platforms are currently under construction and be looking at redeveloping them, and soon to come, the new look of the website and our social media. Myself and other members of the board, along with other employees, other members of the village, are going to be attending the 109th IML conference this week, which goes from tomorrow, Thursday, to Saturday, and hope to bring back lots of good information, resources that we can implement here, and current trends that are going on in municipalities. So, as always, remember, when you can shop Monee, do so. End of report, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Building Services, Trustee Henson.
Thank you, Mayor. We've had 53 permits valued at $1,398,961, and we have 26 homes scheduled for resale inspections. End of report.
Thank you. Public Safety, Trustee Udris.
Thank you, Mayor. First and foremost, I hope that everybody on the 11th, September 11th, took a minute to kind of pause and reflect. 21 years ago, we had the attack on the World Trade Center, to think about all the lives that were lost, not only of the people working in the building, but the first responders that went into there knowing that they were not coming out. Very emotional day for me personally, but I just hope people stopped and thought about that and never forgot it. Secondly, Fall Fest, again, I'll echo what everybody else said, absolutely fantastic. Diana, Ed, all of you guys, just all your staff, just 100% phenomenal job. I have to say that I was very happy to see nobody on Monee Police going around in a Piatone buggy. The new UTV that we have is absolutely sharp. It is absolutely perfect, and it was just great to see that cruising around representing Monee. For emergency management, our EMA responders put in over 147 hours at Fall Fest, making sure that everybody stayed safe. If you remember back at the last board meeting, I talked about a camera system that our EMA department had put together with the work, with some help from John Jones. Got to actually see a demonstration of it, and it is just absolutely incredible. What they're able to do with it is just perfect, and it has completely exceeded all expectations for it. So a huge thank you to John. I know you spent a bunch of hours out there also helping with the operations of that, so thank you. On August 29th, EMA was on storm duty again for a couple of hours, and on September 11th, EMA came across a motor vehicle accident that was involving a semi, was blocking all lanes on southbound Monee Manhattan Road over by the Petro truck stop, and they assisted the police there with traffic control for over an hour. And with our police department, Friday, August 26th, the Monee Police Department sponsored its first ever Special Olympics golf outing at Green Garden. They raised another $4,000 for Special Olympics, and it was a great success. Proved to all of us that we need to do it again, so thank you, Monee. And Monee Police has been stretched these last 2 weekends with the Labor Day holiday and Fall Fest. Proud to say that we came out unscathed. Fall Fest had a large turnout on Saturday, with the biggest group consisting of juveniles in the carnival area. With good planning and constant on-the-ground presence, diverted several potential issues and maintained a great environment for our families. So a lot of hours and a lot of sweat, but most everybody left with a smile on their face, and a great job to our Monee police officers for what they did. End of report.
Thank you. Moving on to the attorney's report, Larry.
Thank you, Mayor. I have 3 items for the board's consideration. The first item is a motion to disperse funds for the purchase of property at Monee Manhattan Egyptian Trail. It should indicate Cicero Avenue. That's probably my error. It's for 1.58 acres, $375,000 plus closing costs. I do have the PIN on there. We are supposed to close tomorrow at 12:30, and hopefully by 1:30 we will own that property. This is Ms. Ravel's site. So need a motion to authorize Daryl to wire transfer the funds.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item, if the board recalls, we authorized the demolition process for 4521 Tulip. We did send notice to the lien holder. We sent notice to the state of Illinois, there was outstanding taxes. We sent notice to the estate. We even checked with the county to see if an estate was open on behalf of the decedent. Notice was filed, recorded, and also put in a newspaper. We did not receive any response from any of the parties other than the mortgage company, who might help us out with some of the cost. But today, we need a motion authorizing the demolition of 6521 Tulip pursuant to 65 ILCS 5/11-31-1-E. And all that indicates is that we still think it's a continuing nuisance and it should be demolished. But we need a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Is there a timetable on this, and when, after we do this resolution and how?
I know Romy's been working on it real hard. I think they're gonna start demolition sometime within the next 10, 14 days, zigzag?
Yep,
Now, by statute, it's supposed to be within 120 days.
Thank you.
So we're fine.
And that's a house, correct?
Correct.
It was a house.
The firehouse.
Okay. Got it.
That it? Okay. Roll call, please.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. And the last item, in connection with the demolition of the 4521 Tulip, awarding a demolition contract for 4521 Tulip to Zigzag Excavating in the amount of $17,325. Romy did get probably 7 or 8 proposals. This was the lowest responsible bidder, and we didn't have to put a newspaper because it was less than $25,000. But we need a motion authorizing awarding the contract to Zigzag Excavating.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Do they remove the basement, or do they just fill it in?
Everything will be removed. The basement, the foundation walls will be brought back to grade.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you. Unfinished business. Ruben?
Thank you, Mayor. Under unfinished business, I have PBS Fireman Park Pavilion rebuild. At the August 24th board meeting, a board consensus was reached on PBS replacement design proposal of Fireman Park Pavilion. PBS estimated cost to rebuild the Park Pavilion is $414,000.00. It should be noted that this is an estimated cost and could be subject to change according to supply and demand pricing. This quote also factors in prevailing wages. We need an official vote to document board action. Board action request is a motion to approve PBS's construction proposal to plan, design, and build the Fireman's Park Pavilion in the amount of $415,000.00.
I'll make that motion.
I will second.
Discussion?
Oh, yes. I am so happy that we could all finally agree and stop butting heads on something and agree on one thing. And it was still will be better than what the old pavilion was. And we agreed on it, and I think that's just great, just spectacular. And I know we're all happy to get this taken care of.
I was getting kind of fond of the tent. I don't know.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
Trustee Rakis?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Thank you, Board. Mayor, that's the end of my report.
I actually have one more thing, one question for unfinished business, if I could bring it up, and that's just to get an update on where we are at with moving forward with the signs, with the radar for Court Street.
Chief?
Mr. Administrator, I do not recall being authorized or budgeted for this purchase. I do know that we changed the law for the signs, but I think the board has to authorize the expenditure, if I'm remembering correctly. So, wait a minute, I'm not done yet. I'm having too much fun here. If it is done so, I will order them, but until then, I am on standby.
Yes, my recollection was that we approved that, and then the following meeting did the ordinance to allow the signs, so that's why, yeah, I was thinking that we were moving forward with this, and just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I think we got a little bit of cross the wires here. We were in a stage of picking out, so the approval's there, it's just picking out the system we want to go with. So
There will be several vendors, I'm sure, at IML.
Yeah,
Because they
so
always have
perfect
them there,
timing.
so we'll get some good information.
Okay, we'll move forward with this.
You want me to talk about it? The other item under unfinished business is that the board recalls we received a TIF payout request from Milco, which is the note holder on the Dollar General facility. There were some issues with respect to the plumbing inside that facility. We asked them for some assistance. As far as I know, has been on top of this. That assistance hasn't been forthcoming. So there's still an issue with respect to a potential code violation and a public health violation. So it's been recommended that we table their payout to the next board meeting in order to try to again get their assistance to help Ed and our Chief Nealon. They will not be happy, I'll say that, but at the same time, this is a life safety issue, and the only leverage you have right now is either to cite them, shut them down, or this.
I'll make that motion to table it.
Motion to postpone.
Yes.
Motion to postpone.
Okay, wait, we don't have to have a motion to postpone because it's already been postponed once, and this will be the second time.
follow.
So just letting you know, we will have one more time to be able to postpone before it dies.
And hopefully, by next board meeting, we will have Mr. Jordan here, who's the attorney, saying it's done.
Can we add into the record for this? I've noticed the times that I've gone in, there's probably a third to 50% of the lights that are burned out, which is also a life safety issue. Can that be added to the work that needs to be done?
Actually, Doug, I think those are actually meant to go out to save it. Do they come on as you go down? I know some of them
No.
have. We'll ask.
I know they
Building
said it was
services.
a timer that's on it since
Yeah.
the beginning of the time of them having that building,
Yes.
and it goes out.
So we did another inspection on there, and I spoke with the assistant manager, and they put an order for the lights, but for some reason, just like with everything else, they're slow coming, and I put on our inspection report that needs to be done, which includes the RPZ and a couple other items. So I'm not sure what the delay is, but it seems like every Dollar General has the same issue, getting the right people to fix it at the right time.
I just hope they can get it all straight and get it.
Yeah,
where
it's on the last report I gave it to them, and I asked them for the, certification for the RPZ, and nobody has an answer.
When did you do your inspection approximately?
Last week.
Okay. But I bet if we put it on the list of safety issues, it would go to the top of their list and get done.
You would think, but I emailed to, a couple of managers that we have the emails that we spoke before, along with other items that has to be fixed. Nobody calls us, nobody send us an email back, hey, we received, this is what we're doing, give us enough time, or whatever the delay is, we get no communication.
And that's my point exactly, that we need to use this as leverage to get these things done.
Well, if they don't do what they're supposed to do and don't communicate, then they don't get their money. Isn't that how that works? I mean, if they want the money, they should communicate at least.
I think this'll, at least what we're doing will open up a conversation.
Yep.
That we can, money talks, so they'll be coming knocking. Why we had you here, Romy? What are some of the concerns over there at the?
So in the foyer, like, John mentioned, or trustee Henson, I should say, the lights, the walls is, the drywall. Every time they bring the carts in, they don't put a bumper, I don't pull a bumper. Otherwise, and they fixed it with a piece of cardboard. I said, that's not gonna fly. So, and then in the aisles, I told them several times, don't put carts, you can't block, because if you have somebody that comes in with, you gotta have so much room.
So those pallets of merchandise aren't supposed to be there?
I told them, I said, make a, even in the back, you gotta have room to go to the electrical panel, to the fridge, to wherever you need to go, and they always block it. So we try to stay on top of it, talk to several managers, on top, and they fix it, fix it for the time being. Then you go back in a week, and we're back in the same, we're playing the same game.
Well, I appreciate you being vigilant on that.
Yeah, we just don't get communication, so that's why we're trying to penalize them. So every time I tell them, we come back for another inspection, you get another fee, so, but that's where we at.
Thanks, Romy. All right. We have a motion to postpone, right? No, because it's already, okay. Any new business? Opened, yep, go ahead.
You were going to say?
I was going to,
Okay.
unless you had new business.
No.
Okay. Open to the public, non-agenda items? Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Margaret Horn. I'm here to talk about the Creamery, the Historical Society. We too had a great weekend with the Fall Fair. I think we had over 75 people just walk through and get tours of that. And that was like in the 2 days we were open, because it wasn't worth it being open on Sunday. We have a lot of things coming up in October. I don't know. It's green.
Oh, it is, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think so.
Gosh. We have a lot of things coming up in October. We're going to do a walk through St. Paul's Cemetery, which sounds kind of neat, on the 15th. We're doing Haunted History on the 19th. We're going to open up the Heritage Center on the 22nd with a kind of a little village with Halloween themes going on. The first Friday of every month, we do a scrapbooking, so people are welcome to come to that. Let's see. We also have a beautiful quilt to raffle off, so please buy tickets for the quilt. And we have the Our Roots Are Deep's books reprinted, so you can purchase those. The other thing I think I want to make all you guys aware of is 2024 is our 150th anniversary. We need to start planning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Margaret.
Can I just bring up as an aside, for the Monee Women's Club, for our fall mum sale, there's 2 more days left to order those beautiful mums, and through the 17th, and there you can do PayPal or Zelle online, but there are also forms that you can send in, and the delivery for those gorgeous mums, they're still only $10 each, and it all goes towards the Monee Women's Club Scholarship Fund, so we are able to award a scholarship to a young deserving lady from our high schools. We also have, in case you haven't noticed, the signs going up around town, a fashion show coming up in partnership with New Hope Christian Church, that we're looking for models through the decades. So if you have, what's your favorite decade, if you have some 70s or 80s wear, or maybe 1920s flappers wear laying around and would like to be a model and walk to the music, tickets are only $20 each, and it's October 8th. From 4 to 7 p.m. And the price of that ticket includes not only the fashion show, but entrance into the silent auction. Yes, I'm still looking for silent auction items too. And a huge, refreshments are free and included in that ticket price too. Thank you.
Thanks. Anybody else? All right. May I please have a motion to adjourn?
Make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Rakes?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Udris?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez? Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Henson?
Yes.
7:36 PM.